Listo. I'm just waiting for Twitch. YouTube is now live. Facebook is live. And we're here today with some good friends. We've got Darren, Kinda Drunk, Plebes, Sid, and Yush. Thank you guys for hanging out here. I feel like it's family. I always look forward to today. So now Twitch is online. So welcome to the Q&A and Critique number 44. So the number keeps getting higher and higher. It's kind of interesting. So the current time is 1800 UTC, or local, 1300. And today we're going to be looking at automation. Basically, what is automation in Blender and why it is important. We're also going to be taking a look at automating a chain of operators with objects using the action recorder. Also going to be doing the same using a little bit of looping code, which is the basic foundation with Python in a script. And we're also going to take a look at Serpens, which is a paid add-on. But if you want to get into automation with Blender and start to get a hand on programming or using Python for your daily work, it's a good way to start saving time. And with that, we're going to do some asset processing for the Painterly project. So a hands-on kind of approach where basically I will create some assets that I've downloaded and I need to process them with some automation because I don't want to do hundreds of different assets one by one. So you guys ready? If you feel free to open up your microphone with questions or write in the Q&A and critique chat here in Arundel's Discord server, or I'll try to pay attention to what's happening on the chats. But if you have questions, just let me know and I'll see where we can go. So you guys ready?
Sounds good.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. And also we have a new person here, Chuena. Welcome. Okay, so first things first. What do you guys know about automation? What is automation to you? What's the first thing that comes to mind when you think about it?
I know absolutely nothing.
Nothing?
Well, it's like I know it in general, where it's like you get the machine or the program to do the work for you, like it's automated, right? Like that's all I know.
Okay, that's cool. All right, so let me see if I can explain it nice and quickly. So here's a big list of objects that I downloaded the other day for each different part of the city. Some of them, the ones in stars, are the ones that I'm going to have to create myself, but ones in the tick boxes are the ones that I have already downloaded. So I've used a number of different websites, and a lot of the models are either in Collada, FBX, GLTF. Some of them have textures, most of them do not. Some of them are from Sketchfab. And I have a lot of work to do. I need to prepare all these assets. But imagine me taking one of these assets, like the suitcase on wheels, and I need to prepare it for the Painterly. So to do this, I would need to apply transforms. First things first, scale to the correct size, relative size. Then I need to apply the transforms, and then I need to remesh. I'll join the pieces, then I need to remesh, and then I need to apply the remesh, and then I need to decimate, and then I need to, what else do I need to do? And then I need to bake the diffuse colors to a vertex color, and then I need to create 4 different vertex color groups, and then I need to paint a color on the third one for some reason, maybe make it white, or the second one. And as you can see, there's a big list of things I need to do per asset. Now imagine I have to do this list of things inside Blender, and I have to do it on the airport ticket, and then I have to do it on the airport interior, and then I have to do it on the airport hall interior, or the hall, and then I have to do it on the passenger spaceship, and then I have to do it on the gangway, and then I have to do it on the spaceship support towers. And as you can see, this list is becoming absolutely monumental and huge. So this is where automation becomes important, because sometimes ain't nobody got time for that, right? You can't just spend all day repeating the same list of tasks on hundreds of different objects for fun. It's not fun.
No.
Right? So that's automation, and this is why it's important to learn about this a little bit. So let's do this. Let's try to find some ways to automate. So have you had any cases where you've needed to automate things, or where you've repeated a lot of work before in a project?
Yes, but I haven't automated. I've just dreamed of
You just dreamed
about
of it.
it. I just dreamed about it because I was like, ah, this would be awesome if I could just go do this and not have to do it all manually.
All right, well, fortunately, we have some solutions. But first things first, let's understand the process a little bit. So I'm here in my models, go into my models folder, go to my downloads, and go into the one with the airport and find that suitcase. So let's take a look at all my downloads. There is a suitcase somewhere. That's a good one to start with. So suit, oops, or case, or just search for it manually with a list name. There, airport, tower, ticket, airport, bridge, factory site, wall, versus pipe wall, stairway, travel bag. Here it is. So I'm going to extract the travel bag into a folder. Take a look at the folder. It's a GLTF. That's perfect. So we can go here, import GLTF. I love GLTFs. Go into that particular folder. Here's a quick tip. If you don't want to copy and paste this address to quickly navigate here, you can just drag and drop, and Blend will automatically jump to that folder. So now we can import.
Your blender looks so different than mine. I have trouble sort of figuring out what you're doing. Sorry, that's just me though.
Would you like me to work in the default?
No, it's okay. I'm just.
It's basically the same. I can,
Yeah.
let's load up
No,
the
it's okay.
blender and we can copy paste. Just give me a moment.
Oh, I'm probably the one.
No problem. Just to give you an idea, I mean, Blend is very good for, it's kind of like Linux where you can customize it to however you want.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the suitcase. And now I need to do, as you can see, the suitcase is currently 200 meters tall. It's a giant suitcase.
Totally reasonable. Totally reasonable.
Yeah, I would take that on a plane. Why not?
It'll fit in the carry-on.
Yeah, sure. So I'm going to scale it down by 100. And now the suitcase is still quite tall, 2.5 meters tall still. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a character, just a basic reference character, like this base cartoon woman. Link her in, and as you can see, she's still really small. She's almost on doll size. So let's just scale this back down. And it's probably about this high, this big. Yeah, it's about right, no? So now we have this sorted. We've got the suitcase. So now we need to think about the process of what we need to do. So we're in the main view. We've got all these objects. And what I need to do is I need to go inside I have to join them first, and then I have to do, remesh them. So let's get the remesh modifier. Okay, that's fine. Maybe then I need to decimate. I need to decimate with planar. And then I need to make sure the remesh is on smooth shading. And maybe I can decimate even more just to save a bit more with the collapsing. Whoops, not too much. And maybe I need a bit more detail. So I'm going to change the voxel size. Also, I need to make sure that this mesh is cleared from the parents. And I need to apply its scale. So as you can see, when I apply the scale, the remesh is no longer relevant. So I probably need to apply the scale first. Then I change the voxel size to be smaller so that I start to get those edges there in the handle. Maybe I want a bit more detail, so I can use a displacement modifier before the remesh. Maybe not so much. Make the strength 0.1. Now it's like a fat looking, okay, maybe not. So just make sure this voxel size is 0.1. So 0.1 means 1 centimeter. If the stick is not 1 centimeter, if we go into this, as you can see, if these sticks here are not 1 centimeter large or thick, they won't be remeshed. So as you can see, it's a flat looking stick on the actual mesh here. So what I'm gonna
planar. What if you did a planar decimate instead of a voxel one? Isn't that a thing?
Yeah, that's true.
Am I right?
I do the planar after the remesh, but I just need it to remesh the handles. So I'm going to make it a bit thicker than 1 centimeter. And as you can see, it looks okay now. You can also, the handle doesn't look so good, so I'll just make the handle a bit bigger. Cool. So now I've got this nice looking remeshed suitcase with the soft round corners, not too dense topology. I'm going to have to apply the modifiers. And then I need to create the vertex colors. And I need to create 4 of them. And I need to make sure that the 4 of them has the correct coloring. For example, the second one needs to be black. So let's just make sure I am in the vertex color paint mode. And the first one needs to be okay. And then we're good. Now I can paint it manually however I want. I think that's a bit more artistic, so I won't automate that process. Whew, how long did that take? It's like 5 minutes. 10 minutes just for one asset. Multiply that by 100. But that's a lot of hours of doing the same thing over and over and over again. So this is what we're going to try to automate. We're going to try to automate the modifier stack. And we're going to try apply this into a nice easy way using 3 different methods. So here's a warning, a sign of warning. I don't know how to do this very well. I'm mostly an artist and I don't do a lot of coding. So my experience is limited, but I try to use what's available. I learn what I need to know to get some of the work done automatically. So let's see, let's begin here. And we'll just clean up the scene a little bit. So this is kind of like the result. We can load up the original material again. GLTF. This is the general idea. We'll just scale this down a lot. So we have an after and before and after. So here's the dense mesh, and here's the painterly mesh, ready to rumble. The before and after. Okay, so first things first, we're going to take a look at the add-on called Action Recorder. So the Action Recorder, which is a free add-on, I highly recommend this to absolutely everyone, it's an add-on that you can download here on GitHub. They also have a Discord community and a wiki. And basically it gives you an interface to help you record macro actions. So a macro action is basically a sequence of operations that you can record using the interface. So let's take a look here. So for example, if I have all of these objects like this, and I'm just going to unparent them, I'm going to put them into a collection. I'm going to call this suitcase original so that we can duplicate it. So I'm going to just hide the original, make it green, and duplicate it. There we go. Now we'll make this one the yellow as the experiment, and we'll call this the test. So our test suitcase is here, original suitcase is saved away, everything's good. So here on the right, if we go to our scripting settings and we can install it and then activate it, we have the System Action Recorder add-on, which adds a tab here on the right of your Properties panel, or at the N panel here. So if you press N in Blender or Control-TMB for artists, or the little arrow here in the top right beside the widget, you can open up the panel, choose the Action Recorder tab, and in the Action Recorder tab we have a number of panels. We've got a Help panel, which is really nice, an Advanced panel, we've got Global Actions, the Macro Editor, and Local Actions. So the ones we're going to focus on first is called the Local Actions and the Macro Editor. So I'm going to close all the others to keep it, and we'll make this nice and big so you can see what's happening. So in this case, I can create a script. So if you remember our process, we have a process called join and remesh. So this is going to be my first local action, and here we can see this record button. So if I select all my meshes here, the ones that I want to join, I can hit my record button and it will change the state of my interface, and then I can start recording and doing the action personally. So I can go to Object, Control J or Join, and then I can go to my modifier stack. I can add the remesh, I can apply Object, apply transforms, scale, and then I can add a remesh modifier, change the value of the remesh modifier to 0.01, add a decimate modifier, where is it? Decimate, change it to planar, and then I'll hit stop. So as you can see, it has created a list of different operators, all in the order that we just recorded from our interface.
If you used keyboard like hotkeys, would it record it as well?
Yes. So the way Blender works is you have the interface, and you have the hotkeys, and you have the floating menus and pie menus, and you have the buttons, everything inside the interface calls a single operator. And this one operator is an action. So here if we take a look, bpy.ops.object.join in parentheses says this bpy is like the Blender Python commands. OPS means it's an operator. Object means it's an operator for an object. And join is the actual name of the operator. The parentheses gives me some variables. So basically, any button or any Python menu that you use in the interface calls this one operator. And this is how the macro editor reads what Blender is trying to do. So we got the apply transform as well. As you can see, location is false, rotation is false, but scale is true. So it just applied as the one operator for all of them. Here, object, apply. Here we have the location, But if you look at the Python, you notice that location is true. But in rotation, location is false. But it's the same operator, just with different parameters for the one operator. So not everything's like this, but it's a general idea. So we've got the original suitcase. Let's duplicate it. And in the original suitcase, we can grab all the objects. And we can now press play. And looks like some of the things didn't work. Let's try that again. As you can see, it goes red on the context modifier. So in this case, as you can see, some things work. So for example, the joining worked. Maybe applying, if I mute this one, and I probably will mute that one, and then I press play. Now it works. So as you can see, it flashes red when something changes. So for example, this modifier here, BPY context space data context to the modifier stack. It recorded me changing the editor, which is not necessary. So in this case, I will just delete that using the negative button. So you can, if it doesn't work at first, you can just troubleshoot what's happening. This is a very good way to learn how does the API work. So now if I get another object like this, I get the airport tower, for example, here, and I go import GLTF, or up here in Blender, file, import GLTF, whoops, that's FBX, file, import GLTF. I can go to that folder, grab the next scene, import. Gonna be a big one.
Grace, you mentioned you like GLTF. Is there any specific reason for that?
Other than being triangulated, it comes with everything you need. The textures, the hierarchy. The good thing is I don't have to reattach the textures. OBJ, for example, doesn't have the textures included. FBX, unless it's a special FBX, usually doesn't have the materials included. But GLTF, if we take a look at the materials here, you can see that the glass has transparency. The roof has textures. Everything is set up exactly how I need it. It's absolutely wonderful. So we move this to a new collection. So in this collection here, we'll just isolate it, and I grab this. You can take a look at the materials, and you can see that the texture is included, which is here. We've already got the texture included, and we just imported one file, and it came with everything we needed. It's really nice, and all the pieces are nicely organized. Everything is in a hierarchy. So that's the good thing with GLTF, is that if you download, for example, Sketchfab and you choose FBX or Blend or whatever, you may have to reconnect the materials, reconnect the shaders. But with GLTF, you don't, because it comes with everything already set up for you, which is super, super nice. All right, so let's test it, yeah? Should we do a test?
Yes.
Andres,
Yes.
does the console, the info panel, always produce the actions? If you open up a separate window and
This?
No, not the system console, the one in the lower right.
This one here, the info console.
Yeah.
So yes. Depends. Not everything. Blender's not very verbose.
But the recorders are just recording that and then repeating that, whether you actually see it or not. But the idea being all of the calls.
Basically, yes. It's basically recording a chain of sequence of things that you're using, like the voxel size, adding another modifier, adds the type decimate. If I do the same here and I click add decimate, you can see the BPI, scroll to the bottom, it does that particular stack. So yes, you're right. It's basically copying what's happening here and remembering it as a recording.
Oh, including all of the button clicking.
Yes.
If you, as opposed to an action, that was what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. Everything that's happening. So, but here's an issue. If I have, for example, okay, well, yeah, I mean, this is fine. I'm going to hide empties so that I only see meshes. I'm going to select all of these meshes here. And I'm going to hit play. I'm going to apply object transforms. Fine, play. Okay, it's going to sit here for a moment thinking as it does the joining and the remeshing. It's a pretty big scene. Hopefully it doesn't crash because of my remesh. We'll see how it goes.
Won't joining confuse the textures or materials? Because when you join like two objects that have two different materials, isn't it one? Does it change it to the active one that you join it to? Does that make sense?
Yeah. When you join two objects together with two different materials, it will create two object material IDs. So the two materials will become just stacked on top of each other.